You think you know power? You think you've cracked the code of influence? Think again, because what you're about to discover will shred every illusion you've ever clung to. Today we're diving headfirst into the dark, unrelenting art of persuasion, mastered by Sigma males who don't just bend the rules, they forge new ones from the ashes of weakness. Welcome to the Sigma male community, where the independent, the self-reliant, and the unbreakable come to sharpen their edges. This isn't for the timid or the easily shaken. It's for men who thrive in the shadows, who turn silence into a blade and resilience into a fortress. Buckle up, because we're about to unravel 11 weapons of psychological dominance that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about control. Let's get to it. 1. Presence as a psychological weapon. Sigma males don't strut or shout. They command through stillness, a presence so potent it's a weapon in itself. Picture this. A man enters a room, his spine rigid as a steel beam, eyes half-lidded like a predator sizing up prey, every movement deliberate and sparse. This isn't about flexing muscles or puffing chests. It's biological warfare, a silent trigger that sets off alarm bells in the primal corners of everyone's mind. People don't just notice him. They feel him, their subconscious scrambling to decode the threat of his unshakable calm before he even opens his mouth. That stillness isn't random. It's a vacuum that sucks others in. Colleagues stammer, rivals overcompensate, and friends project wild stories onto the blank slate of his silence. He's a genius, a warrior, a man with secrets too heavy to share. Every unanswered glance or delayed nod becomes a power play, an interrogation without words. The beauty of it? He doesn't have to lift a finger. Others do the work for him, unraveling themselves in the face of his quiet dominance. This is where the Sigma's edge sharpens. He lets the world squirm while he stands unmoved. In a society drowning in noise and desperation, his silence is a black hole, pulling everything into its orbit. Men chase approval with loud boasts, but the Sigma knows approval is given freely to those who don't ask. It's a game of perception, and he's already won before the first move is made. Self-mastery is the root of this power, a stoic truth woven into the Sigma's DNA. He doesn't need to prove anything because he's already conquered the chaos within. His presence reflects that victory back onto others, exposing their insecurities while he remains a fortress of calm. This isn't just a tactic, it's a declaration. I am here, I am enough, and you will feel it whether I speak or not. 2. Strategic emotional cryogenics. Sigmas don't react, they dissect. While others explode with anger or melt under flattery, the Sigma freezes his emotions solid, turning every outburst or plea into raw data. Imagine a heated argument. He's noting the quiver in your voice, the flush creeping up your neck, filing it away like a scientist studying a specimen. This isn't coldness for its own sake. It's a calculated move to stay 3 steps ahead, gathering intel while you spill your soul. Then comes the thaw, but only when it serves him. He might flash a flicker of warmth, mirroring your smile just enough to loosen your tongue, before snapping back to icy detachment once he's got what he needs. You're left exposed, raw, thinking you've bonded, while he's already locked your vulnerabilities in a vault. It's a brutal exchange, your openness for his counterfeit connection, a debt you'll never repay. This emotional control is a stoic blade, honed by rational thinking. The Sigma doesn't bury his feelings. He commands them, using restraint as a shield and precision as a spear. Where others drown in their own passions, he floats above, watching them sink under the weight of their own reactions. It's not about feeling less, it's about choosing when to feel and who gets to see it. The result? Power without effort. By staying unreadable, he forces you to overreach, to reveal more than you meant, chasing a glimpse of his humanity. In a world where emotions are a leash, the Sigma cuts himself free, leaving others tangled in their own ropes. This is strategic cryogenics, freezing the game until he's ready to win. 3. Reflective psychological hacking. Sigma charm isn't charm, it's a hack, a masterclass in neurological infiltration. He mirrors you with eerie accuracy, your slang, your posture, even the way you laugh nervously under pressure. It's not friendship, it's a trap, triggering that warm buzz of "he gets me" that shuts down your defenses. Before you know it, you're spilling secrets to a reflection you think is real, blind to the sniper behind the glass. Then he pulls the rug out. Mid-sentence, he's gone. Radio silence, no replies, no closure. Your brain scrambles, dopamine crashing, leaving you hooked on a connection that's already vanished. You'll bend over backwards, text twice, apologize for nothing, just to feel that false kinship again. He's not your mirror, he's a portal straight into your psyche, and you handed him the key. This is stoic rationality turned weapon. No attachment, just observation and execution. The Sigma uses your need for validation against you, staying detached while you tie yourself in knots. He knows human nature craves connection, and he dangles it like bait, close enough to bite, far enough to keep you hungry. It's efficiency, not cruelty, a shortcut to influence without the mess of genuine bonds. The brilliance lies in its simplicity. By reflecting you, he bypasses your walls. By withdrawing, he owns your attention. You're not dealing with a friend, you're facing a strategist who's already mapped your mind. This is psychological hacking. He doesn't break in, you invite him and thank him for it. 4. Behavioral napalm tactics. Sigmas don't play predictable, they drop napalm on your expectations. One day he's all in, dissecting your latest idea with laser focus. The next he's a ghost, canceling plans with a single word text. Then, out of nowhere, a gift lands on your doorstep, time to catch you off guard. This isn't chaos, it's a calculated strike, rewiring your brain with intermittent jolts of reward and withdrawal. Your mind can't cope. Logic screams he's unreliable, but your gut craves the next hit of his attention, like a junkie chasing a fix. You'll work harder, forgive faster, scroll his profiles late at night, all to crack the code of his rhythm. Spoiler, there is no code. He's conditioning you, turning your own instincts into a leash he holds. Stoic resilience fuels this fire. The Sigma thrives in the unpredictable, unshaken by your confusion, because he's already mastered his own. He knows stability comforts but chaos controls, keeps you guessing, keeps you hooked. It's a dance of power, and he's leading every step while you stumble to keep up. This is napalm. It burns fast, leaves scars, and clears the field for his dominance. You're not a partner or a rival, you're a tenant in his psychological estate, working yourself ragged for a harvest he'll never share. The Sigma doesn't need your approval, he's too busy making you need his. That's the game, and he's winning. 5. Information scarcity economics. In a world vomiting overshares, Sigmas starve you of details, and you beg for more. He drops half a story about a trip to Morocco, leaves scars unexplained, shrugs off questions about his weekend. These aren't oversights, they're rare coins in a psychological economy where less is worth more. Your curiosity doesn't just peak, it explodes, turning crumbs into treasures. Suddenly you're a detective piecing together his playlist for clues, staring at his jacket for a story. Every scrap feels like a victory, but it's a cage. He's got you chasing shadows while he sits back, untouched. The less he gives, the more you invest, building a myth around a man who's barely said a word. It's scarcity weaponized. This ties to stoic clarity. Focus on what matters, discard the rest. The Sigma knows most chatter is noise, so he cuts it out, letting your imagination fill the void with gold. He's not hiding, he's curating, turning absence into a currency that buys your attention, your loyalty, your obsession. The power here is leverage. You're so busy decoding him, you don't see him decoding you. Every question you ask, every theory you spin, handing him your blueprint. In this economy, he's the bank and you're broke, trading your focus for his silence. That's the Sigma's market, and he owns it. 6. Microexpression combat engineering. Sigmas don't just listen, they dissect you in real time. You're ranting about your boss, and he's clocking the twitch in your jaw when you say, unfair. Negotiating a deal? He's tracking your pupils flaring at $80,000. These aren't casual glances. They're live scans, turning your face into a map of weaknesses he files away for later. Months down the line he strikes. Still mad about that promotion? He asks right before your review. $75K sounds fair, he muses, knowing you'll cave. You think he's guessing, but he's not. He's pulling levers you didn't know he installed. Your own body betrayed you, and he's the engineer who turned it into a weapon. This is stoic observation dialed to 11. See the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. The Sigma reads you like a book, not out of empathy but strategy, every tick and flinch a cheat code to your decisions. He's not guessing your next move, he's scripting it based on data you didn't know you gave. The result is surgical control. He doesn't need to yell or push, he just nudges and you fold, thinking it's your idea. This is combat engineering. Your micro-expressions are the battlefield, and he's already planted the mines. You're not fighting him, You're losing to yourself and he's calling the shots. 7. Asymmetric vulnerability weaponization. Sigmas don't share, they extract. Over a drink, he's got you spilling your childhood scars, nodding just enough to keep the floodgates open. Ask about his past? Old news, he says, shutting the door with a smile. This isn't a chat, it's a heist, your raw honesty swapped for his armored silence, leaving you naked while he's untouchable. You mistake it for trust. You'll defend him to doubters, ignore his red flags, all because you've bared your soul and he hasn't blinked. Every secret you give widens the gap. He's richer, you're poorer, your confessions piling up like interest he'll cash in later. It's not intimacy, it's inventory. Stoic strength drives this. Guard your core, let others unravel. The Sigma knows vulnerability is power, but only when it's yours to wield, not theirs to take. He's a vault, you're an open book, and that asymmetry keeps him in command while you chase a bond that doesn't exist. The payoff is total leverage. He's got your fears, your dreams, your triggers, ammo he'll use when the time's right while you've got nothing but guesses about him. This is weaponization. Your openness is his arsenal and he's loaded for bear. You're not his equal, you're his target. 8. Pattern destruction warfare. Sigmas don't follow scripts, they torch them. Drinks every Friday? Cancelled with a cryptic busy. Then he's at your gym wearing a scent that haunts you, grinning like nothing's off. Your routines, your safety nets, turn into rubble under his chaos. This isn't random, it's a calculated assault on your brain's need for order. Science backs it, predictability feels safe, chaos breeds panic. He keeps you off balance, your stress spiking as you scramble to adapt. You're not planning anymore, you're reacting, clinging to him as the only anchor in the storm he made. That's the trap, he's not your rock, he's your warden. Stoic acceptance of life's flux powers this. The Sigma doesn't flinch at uncertainty, he thrives there, using it to unmoor you while he stays steady. He knows a rattled mind bends easier, and he's the earthquake that keeps you shaking. It's warfare and your patterns are the casualties. The endgame? Dependency. You're so lost in his unpredictability, you need him to make sense of it, handing him control on a platter. He's not breaking your habits, he's breaking you piece by piece until you're his to command. That's the Sigma's battlefield and he never loses. 9. Projection alchemy systems. Sigmas don't define themselves, they let you do it and you'll pay for the privilege. His silence is a canvas. Is he a rogue agent, a scarred poet, a tycoon in hiding? He tosses out hints, a tattoo in a dead language, a call he won't explain, and your mind runs wild, painting him larger than life. You're the artist, but he's the alchemist. You'll excuse his distance as mystique, his coldness as depth, fighting anyone who questions the masterpiece you've built. The less he says, the harder you work to fill the gaps, defending a man who's barely there. It's not his story, it's yours and he's got you hooked. Stoic wisdom warns against chasing shadows, but the Sigma turns that flaw into gold. He knows you'll project your hopes and fears onto him, crafting a legend he doesn't have to live up to. He's not lying, he's just letting you lie to yourself and profiting from it. This is power without effort. You're so busy sculpting his myth you don't see him sculpting you, your loyalty, your trust, your obsession. He's a blank slate that owns you, an alchemist turning your imagination into his throne. That's the Sigma's magic and you're under the spell. 10. Psychological blueprinting. Under that calm mask, the Sigma's mind is a supercomputer, mapping your soul. Your poker face cracks when you're lying? Noted. Drunk ramble about a windfall? Logged. Flinch at a dig about your dad? Cataloged. This isn't small talk, it's reconnaissance, every word you say a brick in the blueprint he's drafting. He waits, then strikes with precision. Risky stocks your style, he says after your cash lands. Bad hand, he smirks mid-game knowing your tell. It feels like he's reading your mind but he's just reading his notes, your own voice turned against you with chilling accuracy. Stoic self-knowledge flips outward here. Know others as you know yourself. The Sigma studies you not to connect but to control, building a profile so detailed he can predict your next breath. He's not guessing, he's engineering, turning your psyche into his playground. This is the ultimate edge. He doesn't force your moves, he suggests them and you follow thinking it's fate. Your weaknesses, your dreams, your habits, they're his tools now and he's the architect. You're not a mystery to him, you're a machine and he's got the manual. 11. Sovereignty consciousness. The Sigma's deadliest weapon? He knows exactly who he is, and what he's capable of. He sees these tactics for what they are: raw nuclear forces that can build kingdoms or burn them down. Others hide behind excuses: just business, just love. But he stares into the void of his own power, unflinching. This isn't morality, it's mastery. Every choice is deliberate: silence to shield himself, secrets to crush a foe, chaos to bind a follower. He's not stumbling through manipulation, he's conducting it, a king who rules his own darkness before he rules you. That clarity isn't a burden, it's his crown, forged in self-awareness. Stoic truth runs deep here: face yourself and the world bends. The Sigma doesn't flinch from his shadow, he wields it, knowing its weight, its edge, its cost. He's not a slave to guilt or doubt, he's free, sovereign over his mind and yours. That's his strength, and it's absolute. This isn't a game of chance, it's a throne of intent. He doesn't wield power because he needs it. He wields it because he can, and because he's earned it through relentless command of himself. You're not just facing a man, you're facing a force, and it's awake. You've just walked through the fire of Sigma persuasion, 11 blades of dark mastery laid bare. Now the choice is yours. Will you sharpen these weapons for yourself, or let them carve you up in someone else's hands? This isn't a lecture, it's a wake-up call for men who refuse to kneel, who hunger for control in a world that begs to be tamed. The Sigma male community isn't just a channel, it's your forge, your proving ground, your guide to becoming unbreakable. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications if you're already in, and don't just watch, act. Share this with the warriors who need it, drop a comment with your thoughts, your questions, your fire. Let's build something unstoppable together. Reflect on this, wield it, own it. Until next time, stay sovereign, stay sharp, and never settle for less than you can become.